Nunez, representing the Diversity and Inclusion Committee at Payroc and our local Atlanta office, and I'm here today with Santiago Marquez, CEO of the Latin American Association, and we're here to highlight and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month and what the Latin American Association does for the community.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Santiago?
Sure. Well, thank you, Yosselin. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and thank you for asking us to share a little bit about the LAA, and I'm happy to start talking about myself and my journey, how I got here. I actually started my career here 22 years ago. First career out of college, and realized that I loved the nonprofit sector, loved working with the Latino community. At that time I was in graduate school. I wanted to be a professor. I wanted to teach literature, and I quickly realized that that was not the right path for me. But I also learned that I wanted to be a leader. I wanted to be an executive director, a CEO, and I needed more experience. So I left the Latin American Association, went to a national organization, traveled the entire United States for about 5 years, working with different Latino communities, compiling best practices on how to serve the Latino community. And then I went to the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and actually ran that chamber for about 12 years. And then ended up here when this job became available. I was able to come back as the CEO and really living my dream right now.
Yeah.
So it's really an amazing opportunity for me to fulfill my dream in terms of my career.
That's great. It's a great story. Can you tell us a little bit about the Latin American Association and what your vision is and your mission?
Sure. Happy to. It's my favorite subject. The Latin American Association is actually turning 50 this year, so we're a 50-year-old organization, which I'm really proud of, and I think it speaks volumes about the founders of the organization and also the people that came before me, the executives and the board of directors and the staff that have allowed the organization to thrive for 50 years. But we are a social service organization. We have 3 offices right now. We are in our headquarters on Buford Highway in North Druid Hills, 43,000 square foot facility. We actually own this building. We have an office in Lawrenceville in Gwinnett County, and we have an office in Dalton in Whitfield County. The LAA provides 5 areas. There's 5 areas that we focus on in terms of services. The first one is social services. It's family well-being and stabilization, and we provide a lot of financial assistance for people that are in jeopardy of being homeless. Actually, right now we're seeing a lot of migrants that are coming to Atlanta directly from the border, from Texas. And in the last 2 months, we've helped about 56 families find immediate, housing and trying to help them get settled. We also help with victims of domestic violence. So we have a grant from the Department of Justice, and we have a specially trained case manager that can work with victims of violence. We help people enroll in SNAP benefits, what we used to call food stamps, and re-enroll in the SNAP benefits. So we're almost experts in that. We also have immigration services, and we are probably, I think, the only Hispanic organization in the state that actually has immigration lawyers on staff. They're on payroll. Really proud of that, and we only serve low-income families with our immigration services, right? People that could not afford to go to a private attorney. We have our economic empowerment area. There's 2 sides of the house to that. One is the job-ready component. So really trying to help people get the skills that they need to be able to get gainful employment. We have teachers on staff on payroll that are certified teachers that teach English as a second language. We have digital literacy programs. So we have just built a new computer lab here, and we're teaching people how to work with computers, kind of the basics, trying to shrink that digital divide, if you would. We also have a job bank. We have resume days, we have job fairs, and then we have an entrepreneurship program here. And our entrepreneurship program is designed especially for women. So we teach women how to start a business, how to build a business. In the last 7 years, I think we've had about 3,000 to 4,000 women that we've worked with. And last year we were able to build an incubator here in our building. So women who have graduated from the program can rent an office from us at a very affordable rate and get the hand-holding and mentoring that they need to be able to grow their business, right? So we do cohorts for 12 months. And then youth services. So we work with middle school and high school students, help them see a vision of the future, of what that future can look like, whether that's college or the technical skills. And so that's the LAA in a nutshell.
That's great. Those are all really valuable services, and I've seen firsthand how it works with the community, so that's wonderful. What would you say are you and your team's biggest inspiration when it comes to achieving the organization's mission?
People. We are in the people business. That is our product. That is, at the end of the day, when we go home, we have helped the community, we have helped people, and so when we can connect with people and engage with people that have benefited from our services, or whose parents have benefited from our services, or people who, come back to us a year later or 2 years later, and they're in a better place, and they want to give back somehow. They want to, donate time, or even $5 or $10 because they feel that the LAA has made a difference in their lives. To me, there's no better feeling, and I think the staff would tell you the same, right? Sometimes we see people at their most vulnerable, especially when you have someone who's in a tough situation domestically, right? Is a victim of violence, is looking for a way out, is looking for some help, has kids. To be able to help somebody like that is something that, I don't know that there is a monetary price that you could put on that. I mean, it's really an amazing feeling when you know that you're contributing to somebody, and especially the next generation kids, that you're helping them, fulfill their life. I think that you also look at the other side of it, the very positive side of it, when you're helping somebody start a business and grow their business and then become an employer, and they start employing people and contributing to the economy. That's an amazing feeling too, right? So with our incubator, we've had, the businesses have grown by $1 million combined over the last year, right? So that's $1 million in revenue, a lot of money that's going into the state of Georgia, into the city. So these are economic engines that are being created here. And everybody benefits from that, right?
Yeah.
So I think that when you look at it that way, you have to feel really proud, and I think all of our staff does.
Yeah, that's powerful to see the effect and the impact that you're having on people here in the community. That's great. So how would you say that the LAA's efforts drive systematic change in the Latin community?
That's a good question. I think systematic is the key word there. We certainly do our fair share of advocacy work, but I think we start with helping people to fulfill their dreams. And we start by helping to stabilize people. So there's nothing more powerful than stabilizing a family, helping them make sure that they have housing, that they're on the road to gainful employment, that they're on the road to achieving the American dream, which is why we all came here, right? So I would say that's number one. Number two, providing advocacy, being at the table, speaking on behalf of the community, especially when it comes to, legislation or policy. That's where the real systemic change comes from. And I think that's a longer term situation. Sometimes you don't always see the fruit of that labor right away. But certainly we have been advocating, right now we're advocating for in-state tuition for DACA recipients. We've been doing that for a while. And I think one day that's going to come to fruition, right? But it's taking years to get us there. So that's kind of the way I look at that.
So what about challenges? Like, what are some of the challenges that your organization is facing today?
Well, I wouldn't be a CEO of a nonprofit if I didn't say that fundraising, money is always a challenge, because we always have to fundraise every day. It's part of what I do every day. I'm always trying to raise money. So resources are always a challenge, right? I think that some of the other challenges are a crowded marketplace sometimes, right? So Understanding and learning how to build collaborations and partnerships with other nonprofits, so we avoid redundancy and we avoid being territorial and we don't forget what we're trying to accomplish here, is something that is a challenge, but it's an opportunity also, right? So I think that those are the two big challenges and opportunities.
Or what can other organizations do to support the LAA and your mission?
First of all, we love to work with organizations and partner. We're big believers in collaboration. So if you're a nonprofit and you're looking to engage, we would love to engage with you. Certainly there's opportunities for us, always volunteer opportunities for individuals who want to get involved. We are constantly having food distribution events, vaccine events, opportunities to engage with the community. And also, donate, right? So if anybody feels compelled that they want to contribute $5, $10, they can go to our website and give a donation. That certainly helps us defer the cost of our operations.
Is there anything you wish more people knew about the LAA and what you guys are addressing and the issues that you're helping the community with?
Yeah, I just wish more people knew about the LAA, right? And I think that even though we spend a lot of effort and time on marketing and promoting, our services, I still feel like we're only scratching the surface, right? There are over 1 million Latinos in Georgia. Probably out of that million, around 200,000 could be benefiting from our services. And I think that we are doing a good job. We're reaching about 40,000 a year, but there's still 160,000 that we need to be serving, right? So I wish more people knew about what we did.
I think the work you're doing is great, and I've definitely seen the message spreading over the past couple of years.
Well, that's good
great.
to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the LAA was founded over 40 years ago. You're saying almost 50
50
this year.
years ago, yeah.
So what type of progress have you seen since that founding date?
Well, and luckily one of the founders is still alive and still on our board, so I've been able to pick his brain. And the LAA was literally started by a police officer and a social worker, started in the basement of a home. So I would say if we look at where we're at today, in a 43,000 square foot facility that we own, debt-free, thank goodness, coming from a basement of a home to a 43,000 square foot facility that I would argue is a landmark in Atlanta, on Buford Highway, and probably what is considered the most diverse highway, in the United States, or at least one of them. That's amazing. That's incredible, right? But we have also achieved a legacy of service, and a legacy that is probably not seen across the United States. And I certainly got an opportunity to travel the country when I worked for Boys and Girls Clubs of America for 5 years. Went to many Hispanic communities. Some were well established: East LA, South Side of Chicago, West Side of San Antonio. Never saw a building like this. And just recently we had a former congressman from Illinois, Luis Gutierrez, that came here. And when he came, he said, Santiago, even in Chicago, which is third generation Hispanic market, there's nothing like this, right? So I think that is the legacy, is the fact that there's 50 years of service, but there's actually a facility like this that belongs to the community.
Right.
This facility belongs to the community, not just Latino community. It belongs to Atlanta. It belongs to Georgia.
So over the years, the LAA has opened several outreach centers in Metro Atlanta and around the area. So what type of work does the LAA do through the outreach centers to connect and engage with the community?
We've had some successes and failures with our outreach centers, right? And sometimes I think you learn more from the times that you don't succeed, the times that you fail, to really understand how to serve the community better. So a couple of spots that didn't work out for us, Athens was one of them, really taught us that we needed to go into a community and identify leaders in that community. And if we can, work with those leaders or hire those leaders to represent us. And that's exactly what we have done in Dalton, Georgia. We managed to identify a person who has been in the community 28 years. has been in the nonprofit sector 22 years. And now he's working for the LAA and representing the LAA and helping us deliver the services that we need. So in Dalton, we are trying to duplicate everything that we do here up there, right? So we work in the schools. We are now launching a leadership institute with the University of Georgia with partners like Mohawk and the city of Dalton to try to teach Latinos that want to be leaders how to lead and how to engage. We are also working with the Department of DFACS in terms of the SNAP benefits, right? So helping people to enroll in SNAP and re-enroll in SNAP benefits. And so everything that we're doing here, we're bringing up to Dalton. But I think the key to establishing credibility in Dalton is to have people that are from the area, that are known in the area, representing your organization. Because if not, you're an outsider coming in, and people don't appreciate that. They're tired of people from Atlanta, and I think this is the same probably in Gainesville and in other markets. They feel like people from Atlanta come in, try to provide a service, and they leave, and then they come back. And that's not really being part of the community. You have to be part of the community to earn people's trust.
Yeah, that's a big piece of that community and trust and
Yes.
building that within
It's huge.
the Latin community for
Yeah.
sure. So what about for people that want to learn more about the LAA and the organization and how to engage, what are the best ways to do that?
Well, I would say they can start by going to our website, which is thelaa.org, and start reading about the LAA and all the events that we have. Also, you could visit us. We're here Monday through Saturday here in our main building on Buford Highway, open until 5 Monday through Friday and until 3 on Saturdays. You could come in and ask to take a tour and engage with us. Or come to one of our events. We have a lot of community events where we need people to volunteer or just stop by. We're always doing food distribution events or vaccine events or community events.
So are there any upcoming events that you're preparing for?
Yeah, there's a big one. It's our Latin Fever Ball. And I do want to thank Payroc for being a sponsor and a supporter. It is the only event that we have throughout the year that is a pure fundraiser, right? So most of our events are tied to community, either serving the community or celebrating the community. And certainly this one's a celebration. But it's a pure fundraiser. It's a great party. It's a great opportunity to mix and mingle with, Georgia's top Hispanic leaders and also non-Hispanic leaders, right? So this year we have the CEO of Georgia Power, who is not Hispanic, Chris Womack, and the CEO of Coca-Cola, Alfredo Rivera, and those are our two co-chairs. But the Latin Fever Ball is a tremendous opportunity for the Latin American Association to generate revenue, to raise dollars that are unrestricted. A lot of the funding that we get is restricted because it comes from grants. And this allows us to, be able to serve everyone, right? So like we talked about the migrants that are coming here every day looking for housing. Well, we're using funds to put those migrants up in hotels and extended stays while we can help them figure out their situation. Can't do that with restricted dollars because restricted dollars are very much tied to very specific situations, right? So that's just an example of why we try to raise unrestricted dollars. And for those that cannot attend, it's actually, the ball is October 15th, so I would encourage you to look it up if you can attend. But if you cannot attend, you can also donate. We have what is called Fund a Mission, and that's a campaign that we're running for people to be able to donate. And that money also goes into that unrestricted pot, and it allows us to be able to provide services to everybody.
Great, well that's very exciting, and we look forward to supporting the Latin American Association at the Fever Ball this year.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Look forward to seeing you.